What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So Jeremy Corbyn and the incompetent Labour Party are once again under fire. This time for falsely claiming they've had a serious cyber attack against their campaign for the 2019 election. Now, I see this story when it first broke at around 10 o'clock this morning and was tempted to do a video on it. But I thought I'll wait a little while and see if more information came out. Turns out many experts have said it's a very basic attack, not sophisticated, and shouldn't have even really caused them a problem, to be honest. Some of you may know it was a DDoS attack, or a denial of service, essentially flooding the servers of a company with traffic until it crashes. One of the oldest and probably most common brute force attacks that is used against companies these days. Microsoft, Sony have them with their consoles. Many other companies suffer them throughout the year. Now, the Express are reporting on this and of course absolutely loving it, with the headline: Corbyn under fire for claims of a very serious cyber attack on Labour systems. Jeremy Corbyn's claims that Labour has been targeted by a very serious cyber attack has been thrown into doubt after the National Cyber Security Centre described it as low level, with another expert telling Express.co.uk there was no reason to think the incident was particularly sophisticated. However, the National Cyber Security Centre has downplayed the seriousness of the attack, suggesting it was less of a problem than Labour made out. In a letter to party workers, Niall Suku, Executive Director, Elections and Campaigns, said yesterday afternoon our security system identified that, in a very short period of time, there was a large-scale and sophisticated attack on Labour Party platforms which had the intention of taking our systems entirely offline. Every single one of these attempts failed due to our robust security systems and the integrity of all our platforms, and data was maintained. Well, considering it's a DDoS attack, they're not trying to steal your data, they're trying to shut the website down. You absolute idiots. So that statement there is completely disingenuous. However, Mr. Suku said the effects of the increased security protocols which the attacks had required to be put in place had reduced the full functionality of the party's campaign systems. No, in other words, your security protocols were piss poor and they couldn't handle it, which forced your incompetent security professionals to take the servers offline so they couldn't continue the DDoSing. Mr. Suku said this is temporary and I anticipate the full functionality returning this morning. So they managed to take it down all night. Well, they didn't manage to take it down. It wouldn't have lasted that long if they wouldn't have shit the bed and just turned it off. But yeah, Labour Party there have turned off the servers 100%. Panic. You know, like the Ramona panic that brought around the Letwin Amendment and the Ben Bill. I appreciate this is frustrating, but I am sure you will understand why we have taken this action. No, I don't understand it. It was stupid. It was unnecessary. You shit yourself and you reacted. Took your servers offline. All print deadlines have been extended by 24 hours. And Mr. Suku, who paid tribute to quick-thinking staff at the party's headquarters, said there should be no knock-on effect for deliveries. Except for a 24-hour one, yeah? We got a tweet here. I'm told the cyber attack on Labour was a DDoS attack. Digital vandalism, not a sophisticated surgical attack. Labour Party spokesman confirmed we have experienced a sophisticated and large-scale cyber attack on Labour digital platform. We took swift action and these attempts failed due to our robust security systems. The integrity of all our platforms was maintained and we are confident that no data breach occurred. Our security procedures have slowed down some of our campaign activities, but these were restored this morning and we are back up to full speed. We have reported the matter to the National Cyber Security Centre. Now, before we continue with this, accompanied with this article we have a Sky News clip of an expert talking about this DDoS attack, so I'll play that to give you guys a little bit more information on it.
This was a serious attack. What do we know?
Yeah, they said it's sophisticated and large scale, and that the National Cybersecurity, the body that protects the UK from cyber attacks, is looking into it. I've discovered what kind of attack this was, and I think that tells us a few important things about the nature of this attack. Apparently, it was a DDoS attack, a distributed denial of service attack. And basically what that is that it involves bombarding websites or digital services with large numbers of traffic until eventually they collapse. And the important thing to know about this is that this is not a sort of extremely cunning, sophisticated kind of attack. It's crude, it's brute force, it's actually quite easy to do. And I think that tells us that this isn't the kind of cyber attack that we saw, say, on the Democratic National Committee, which was done through an email that went to someone inside the DNC who clicked on that link, and then and then the malware was embedded inside the DNC's operations. It's not that kind of.
So
attack.
you say this is what, relatively unsophisticated?
I mean, all these things are relative. You know, like it's not that easy to spin up a great big DDoS attack. But this is really, as far as cyber attacks go, this is the equivalent of a hammer rather than a scalpel.
So there you have it. As that guy said, and like the article has already said, this was not a sophisticated attack at all. It was a basic DDoS attack attempting to shut down their websites and their systems. That's it. They're not trying to steal data, regardless of what the Labour Party will have you believe. And I'm glad they're being called out for once again lying during an election campaign. What a surprise. The article continues. Labour is out campaigning hard both online and offline for a Labour government that will bring real change our country needs. Mr Corbyn, who refused to speculate about where the attacks had originated, described it as a very serious cyber attack. Wrong, lying, it's not. He said we have a system in place in our office to protect us against these cyber attacks, but it was a very serious attack against us. So far, as we are aware, none of our information was downloaded and the attack was actually repulsed because we have an effective in-house developed system by people within our party. That tells me that they don't have a system developed at all and they just shut down the servers if this happens. Them claiming that no information was downloaded is bollocks because the DDoS wasn't aimed at downloading stuff, it was simply aimed at shutting them down. It's a troll essentially. I remember years ago someone did it to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One servers at Christmas, just after they released if I remember correctly. And there was people screaming and shouting about it from the rooftops who had obviously bought their children these consoles when they were released and they couldn't play them on Christmas Day. This is the same thing. They weren't trying to steal people's details, they were just trying to stop people playing it for the shit and giggle of it, I expect. But Labour saying they've got an effective in-house developed system by people within our party makes me concerned, because that means they probably don't have a very good system. I wouldn't want an in-house developed system, I would want a professionally developed system by an internet security company. But the Labour Party are clearly stupid, and if they want to risk their members' data, then that's down to them, I suppose. But if this is a sign of things to come in this election, I feel very nervous about it all, because a cyber attack against a political party in an election is suspicious. Something one is very worried about. No, you should be very nervous about your piss-poor security systems. That forces your staff to take the system offline, rather than just have something there to prevent it. Because it can be prevented. Many times these happen and don't succeed because companies have decent security. Labour clearly doesn't. A cyber attack, as happened in 2017 against our NHS, is something that is incredibly dangerous to the health records and the healthcare and treatment of potentially millions of people. And so we do need far better defensive arrangements against cyber attacks made against us. The one against the NHS was completely different to this, so once again, not relevant. Just trying to make it out to be more than it actually is. He added, as to who undertook the attack, we are looking into all that at the moment, and we've obviously reported the attack to the National Cyber Security Centre, and they will be investigating it as well. Well, it turns out they already have, and they don't think it's that serious, it's just a basic DDoS. However, a National Cyber Security Centre source was unconvinced, saying the cyber attack was low level and that there was no evidence of sponsored activity. Neil Roney of IT analyst Red Mosquito agreed, telling Express.co.uk, unfortunately, distributed denial of service DDoS attacks are very common nowadays. It is also very true to say that they are neither difficult to orchestrate or very sophisticated in nature. This means to accomplish a fairly comprehensive and successful attack designed to bring down a website or a mail system is easily sourced on the dark web. Criminal networks operating botnets for hire are available, and it would not take a great deal of technical knowledge to set this up. IP addresses originating in Russia or Brazil are to be expected and do not in themselves prove culpability or that the instigators even live in these countries. And that little paragraph there is correct because of course where the IP address says they are does not necessarily mean they are there. But the media will bounce on it if it was Russia, and that would be the end of it at the end of the day. It would be the Mueller report in America all over again. It could just as easily be someone from the UK or the US or anywhere else. In the shadowy world of cybercrime, nothing is as it seems. Payment sources for such services are easily obfuscated through the use of cryptocurrencies. This, unfortunately, is the world we inhabit in 2019. Tom Newton-Dunn, The Sun's political editor, tweeted, GCHQ sources say no evidence to suggest cyber attack on the Labour Party was state-sponsored. The denial of service method used was low level in sophistication, so likely instead to be the work of amateur hackers. The website cloudflare.com defines a DDoS attack as a malicious attempt to disrupt normal traffic of a targeted server, service or network by overwhelming the target or its surrounding infrastructure with a flood of internet traffic. Essentially, it's analogous to a traffic jam, which stops regular traffic from arriving at its desired destination. However, in a direct rebuke to Labour's claims, the National Cyber Security Centre, part of the country's GCHQ, Signals Intelligence Agency, has said the attack was low level. Officials added there was no evidence of sponsored activity, as was already said further up. And then we go on to hear about the Russia interference bullshit, which we always get, and I'm not going to carry on reading it, it's all nonsense. So essentially, Labour have been caught out lying again, claiming that a DDoS attack, which is low level and not after data, is a sophisticated, very serious cyber attack, but no one's data was stolen, even though, as I've said, and the article states, no one was trying to steal their data, they was just trying to stop people from accessing the website and their services, i.e. the whole network around Labour. But this is Labour we're talking about, they're full of shit at the end of the day. Now, I'm going to end the video there, guys, this has already gone on long enough. I want to thank our PayPal, Patreon and Subscribe-Star members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you all in the next one.
This Parliament is a dead Parliament. It should no longer sit. It has no moral right to sit on these green benches. They don't like the truth. Twice they have been asked to let the electorate decide upon whether they should continue to sit in their seats, while they block 17.4 million people's votes. Parliament is a disgrace, but they're too cowardly to give it a go. But the time is coming. The time is coming, Mr. Speaker, when even these turkeys won't be able to prevent Christmas.